Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to continue with the reading of Sadie's Game. I'm going to look back at it in a bit more detail. So let's start here with visualize. Now, as we read a story, we should be continuously visualizing what we think is going to happen and what we believe the characters are trying to tell us, what the story is trying to tell us, by using what is called visualization. Now, visualization is just another word for imagining, okay? So as you imagine what's going to happen in the future, it's really going to help you understand the key events, the setting, and the characters and things like that. So as you understand the story better and you get to visualize, not only will you make predictions and things like that, but you're going to think in more detail about potential things that can happen, and that's going to improve your understanding as well. So we have an example here where it says, I visualize Sadie staring out of the window as her brother drives off in his car and her mother hugging her. This helps me understand Sadie's feelings. So in this example, visualizing what Sadie does and also comparing it to how you would feel, so you can make a connection with the character. So you understand what she's feeling because maybe you have experienced something similar, okay? Now it says reread the last paragraph on page 312, and we're going to visualize how Richie looks as he jogs to Sadie. Okay, so let's go to 312 right here. And we're going to look at how Richie looks as he jogs. So it says, Sadie looked up and saw her coach frowning. So we can imagine that her coach is upset. She searched sadly for her mother. So her coach is upset, and now she is upset as she looks for her mom, expecting disappointment in her eyes. But instead, she saw a wide smile. So have you ever looked at somebody extremely sad, expecting them to be angry at you, maybe disappointed, and yet they're smiling? So this is what she's feeling right now. It was the same happy face she saw in portraits of her mother at home. Sadie followed her mother's gaze to find Richie jogging toward her across the gym, holding a purple and white bouquet of flowers wrapped tightly with a ribbon. So as we imagine Richie running, we can also picture what he's holding. A very beautiful bouquet of flowers. And it says that his eyes sparkled and smile gleamed. Okay, so if you imagine somebody's eyes are sparkling and their smile is gleaming, so they also have a sparkling smile, this is an incredibly positive image that we imagine of Richie, right? And then it says he bowed to his sister and handed her the flowers as though she were a queen. So he's treating her so well, we can imagine in a lot of detail what Richie looks like as he's running towards. Okay, next we have problem and solution. Solution simply means how to fix the problem that we are given. So identifying problems and solutions in a story helps us understand what's happening. It helps us understand the details of the characters, the setting, and the plot in a much more easier way. So what we want to do is find out the problems that are occurring to the characters in the story, and then how they fix them. So first off, in this box here, we have the characters. We have Sadie, Richie, and Sadie's mother. Setting is where the story takes place, a basketball court. Now, the problem is Sadie is playing badly, and also she is upset about her brother not coming to the game. So now we need the event. So what happens? And then we will get the solution, okay? So we need to figure out what happens in between Sadie playing badly and being upset to the solution, okay? So what I would like you to do is go back into the story, find the event, tell me what happens, okay? Highlight it, what happens. In the story, what happens, and then how is this problem fixed, okay? So first, after she is playing badly and she's upset, something happens, which means she is no longer upset and no longer feeling badly, playing badly. Okay, and realistic fiction. We know by now, fiction is a made-up story. It is not true. realistic means that it could be real. So if a story could be real, we are not going to have magical events, magical characters, things like that. We're going to have characters, settings, and events that could happen and things that maybe have happened in real life. So although it is a made-up story, the characters, settings, and events could exist. May contain literary elements such as foreshadowing. We're going to look at this in a minute. Literary elements just means the parts of the story. Literary here means story, and then elements is the parts. So if we look a little bit more in depth at foreshadowing, it says foreshadowing hints at what is going to happen without giving the action away. So this is giving us a clue. A hint is a clue. Meaning, if we are paying attention, we can figure out by ourselves what's going to happen before it does. When Sadie looks up at her mother and sees her smiling, the author is giving the reader a clue, like I said, hint is clue, that something good is about to happen. Now, what I need you to do is find and list 2 examples from this story that show that this is a realistic fiction. So we go back here and we find 2 examples from this. I would like you to find me an example of one from here, the character setting or events that could happen, and one literary element, for example, foreshadowing. And then last of all, we have similes and metaphors. They are similar, but they are a little bit different. So let's have a look in more detail. A simile compares 2 things by using the words like or as. He was as fast as a cheetah, for example. A metaphor is the comparison of 2 things without using like or as. He was a fast cheetah. Okay, so we are saying he is like or as fast as a cheetah. Here we are saying he is or they are something, even though that we know they're not. That is called a metaphor, and simile is using like or as. Here we have an example. The referee's whistle went off like a shrieking bird. So even though we know it's not the same sound as a bird shrieking, it just gives us more information so we can imagine just what and how loud that whistle sounded. And then finally, we are going to find the similes and metaphors here listed below, and then tell me what is being compared. He was as fussy as a mother cat cleaning her kittens. Well, we see it says as, so we know this is a simile. And then Mama was her son. Was, like I said up here, is an R. Was is obviously the past tense for is. So we know this is a metaphor, okay? So you need to find these 2, and then you need to explain to me or make a note here at the bottom of the page what 2 things are being compared, okay? Who is being as fussy as a mother cat, and who is her daughter's son? Okay, and that's everything for today. Make sure we finish our homework, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much.